Tomato and egg soup seems very simple, but there are a lot of tricks. If you don't master it well, the tomato and egg soup that comes out is always clear. It doesn't taste good at all. I'll share it with you today. The best way to drink tomato and egg soup. Let's take a look at how to do it next. First, prepare 2 eggs and 2 tomatoes. If you have conditions at home, you can add a handful of cilantro and mushrooms. First we put a cruciferous knife on the bottom of the tomato. When we choose tomatoes, to choose this slightly redder one. Then place the tomatoes in a large, darker bowl. Then pour a little more boiling water on top. Let's scald the tomatoes with boiling water. It can remove the skin of tomatoes very well, because the skin of tomatoes doesn't boil. Putting it in the soup affects the taste. Blend for about 5 minutes and then we peel them off by hand. No. Tomatoes scalded with boiling water. When you peel the skin, it's like taking off your pants. It's very simple. Peel the tomatoes on the cutting board. Cut in half first. Then use a knife to remove the hard core in the middle. Then cut the tomatoes into long strips. And then chop them into little cubes. After it's all cut, put it on a plate for later use. Next, wash the enoki mushrooms. Add a spoonful of salt. Wash the enoki mushrooms with light salt water. When washing enoki mushrooms, we must tear the enoki mushrooms into small pieces for cleaning. Because Flammulina varietypes are denser, bacteria will inevitably remain in it. Take it apart and clean it like thoroughly. After washing, dry it and put it on the cutting board to control the moisture. Then cut off part of the root. Then cut the enoki mushrooms into small sections. After all are cut, put it on a plate for later use. Prepare a small piece. Cut the ginger into thin slices first. Then I cut it into filaments. After cutting, put it in a bowl for later use. Prepare another handful of shallots. Cut into long sections. If you like cilantro, add a little cilantro salt. Cut into segments. After cutting, put it in a small bowl and set aside. Next, crack into cereals hen eggs. Add a little white vinegar to remove the fishy smell. Then stir well with chopsticks. Break the eggs. Finally, stir until you can't pick it up with chopsticks. Add a spoonful of cornstarch to a small bowl. Then pour in some water. Stir with a spoon until there is no dry starch. That's it. It is very important to keep this water starch. Next, add some cooking oil to the pot. After the oil is hot, pour down the tomatoes and fry until fragrant. Fry with a spoon. Fry the water off the surface of the tomatoes. Fry out the juice in the tomatoes. You can press it with a spoon. Add some salt. This will make the tomatoes juice quickly. The same is true of traditional tomato juice. Finally, fry the tomatoes a more viscous state like in the video. That's it. Next, pour a little more boiling water into the pot. Boil soup with boiling water to make the soup whiter. Add the shredded ginger at this time. Just stir fry it. Cook the shredded ginger out of the ginger flavor inside. Then pour down the cut enoki mushrooms. Keep stirring. Cook the enoki mushrooms until they die. Next, add some chicken essence. Sprinkle some pepper. Then add water starch in small amounts and many times. Pour in the starch and bring it to a boil over high heat. After boiling, add the water starch a second time. Only add water starch repeatedly to make the soup thicker. Then add the water starch for the third time. At this time, we can obviously feel. Now the soup has become more and more. It gets thicker. Soup after adding water starch. It tastes silkier. Next, put the egg liquid we just stirred. Form a thin line. Drizzle into the soup. 这样才能够形成漂亮的蛋花。倒下去之后，用勺子快速地将它搅匀。哇哦，这样做出来的蛋花真的是太漂亮了，好看又丝滑，看上去就很有食欲，闻起来也特别的香。出锅前，我们再撒上葱段和香菜叶，再简单的翻炒均匀就差不多了。这样一道丝滑爽口的西红柿鸡蛋汤就做好了。接下来我们就可以出锅装入大碗中。以后打西红柿鸡蛋汤，你就按我的这个方法这样做。营养丰富，口感酸爽又丝滑，不管是老人和小孩都特别的喜欢吃。如果你也觉得不错的话，就收藏起来试试吧。喜欢我的视频，记得点赞、关注、留言并转发哦。我们下期视频再见，感谢您的支持，祝您生活愉快，身体健康。